Hey, Miguel Dorati back here on the CRP, and we're doing an MMA wage range. And looking at this weekend, we are bare of UFC. The UFC skipping a weekend until the 22nd, and that leaves Bellator front and center, and Bellator taking full advantage. Friday, the 14th, they will be on DAZN. DAZN getting a lot of attention, obviously. Saturday night, they'll have the Tyson Fury versus Thomas Ford's heavyweight fight in boxing. And Friday, you get a big Bellator card at Madison Square Garden. So they are in Broadway and really, drinking up the spotlight here. A huge card, 18 fights. I don't even know how you could go to the live show and see every fight. You know what I mean? 18 fights is, I don't know. The kind of thing you break up and maybe do a matinee the next day. I don't know. But it's a ton of fights. But the undercard does have some interesting stuff. Like I said, Bellator trying to pull out all the stops here for New York City. One of the things is a major card with 18 fights. So there's step one. If I miss anything important here, I apologize. But a couple of notables on the undercard. Haim Ghazali, he's 10-6. Ghazali, a real veteran. He fights out of Israel, so he's an Israeli fighter. The UFC has Beneil Dariush. We've got Ghazali down at 170. I've seen him, he's probably in his 40s at this point. And, I've seen him compete in Abu Dhabi as heavy as 200 pounds. So he's been around for a very long time, part of Renzo Gracie's tree in jiu-jitsu there. So you've got Israeli Haim Ghazali on the undercard. You've got Robson Gracie Jr. on the undercard. Robson facing an 0-0 fighter. Robson himself 1-0, so he'll be looking at moving his career. You've got a Gracie there. Then you've got boxing champion Heather Hardy. She's 2-1 in MMA and looking to go 3-1. She's facing Taylor Turner. Turner's record list is 1-4, so it's likely Hardy's going to do well. I think Bellator realizes with Hardy they've got someone very marketable. Hardy out of New York City too, so that should help them put fannies in the seats there. A lot of women's fights on the card. You've got Renee Kubota and Lindsay Van Zandt on the undercard, as well as Heather Hardy taking on Taylor Turner. And that leads us into the main portion of the card. And we've got odds for 6 of the fights that'll be going down there in the Bantamweight division. Got 5 rounds. The championship belt on the line. Darrion Caldwell favored at -185 as he takes on Kyoji Horiguchi. Horiguchi out of Japan, obviously paying back at +160. Featherweight action, we've got former champion Eduardo Dantas at +165 as he takes on Juan Archuleta. Archuleta at -190. Interesting fight there. Dantas bucking for position where he used to be on top. More bantamweight action. You've got Patrick Mix and Ricky Bandejas mixing it up, so to speak. Bandejas -140 and Mix at +120. We've got a catchweight bout, and here's a bout that probably should be on the undercard, but you're going to get it on the main portion of the card, mainly because Dillon Danis, who I believe is 1-0 in MMA, is, in his association with the Khabib-McGregor feud. Dillon Danis now getting a little more attention. He's a -1400 favorite as he takes on Max Humphrey. Humphrey at +925, so that gives you an idea what you got there. Now, a huge middleweight bout, or it could be a light heavyweight, but I'm going to list it as a middleweight bout for right now. And we've got Chael Sonnen taking on Lyoto Machida. This is a UFC recycle bout. Both guys, older, long in the tooth. This fight would have looked probably more handsome 10 years ago. Machida's still favored at -335. Expected to do well as he kicks off his Bellator career. And Sonnen, the bottom line is that Sonnen's already been with Bellator a little bit. 30-16-1 overall, so he's not really shy about losing. I apologize. This will be Machida's second bout with Bellator, but obviously coming off a split decision against Rafael Carvalho, he's looking to impress, and we'll see if this co-feature spot is the place that he shines. And he's expected to shine, as I said, at this point. Sonnen more, on the plus side of 40, more about cashing checks and making noise, and actually, maybe, we'll see if he pulls off a win here. Then the main event of the evening sees welterweight action. This is Bellator's welterweight tournament continuing. Neiman Gracie taking on Rory MacDonald. This is expected to be a hell of a fight. MacDonald still minus 175 favorite, and Gracie at plus 155. I'm not sure if my compatriot and MMA guru Devin Miller isn't going to look at that and see Gracie as a possible underdog. MacDonald's mindset after his last fight was very negative. His comments in the press conference really led, many to believe that MacDonald suffered some burnout and that he was, not, he was questioning whether he was willing to fight anymore. Now he takes on Neiman Gracie, a guy who's got a reputation and a family, legacy that he's continuing here. So we'll see if that underdog spot is something Miller bites on. I'm Miguel Dorado for the CRP. We're looking at Bellator 222 odds, and you can check for our picks with Devin Miller in another podcast.